So kind of struggled with weight off and on, even as a kid, but then into an adulthood, I kind of ballooned up, then lost weight, and then gained it all back plus a whole bunch. And kind of to keep it brief, had weight loss surgery a little over a year ago and dropped, a good amount of weight. Still got a little bit more to lose, but I'm finding all of those emotional pulls to food and all of that has just crept back in, maybe even more so than before. And I mean, I'm terrified, obviously, to gain the weight back and things like that. And, just trying to change my habits to be healthier. But it's I just at times feel like I just have no control over this too. And it's kind of bleeding into other areas of my life as well, I think, too.
Mm. So take me back. When's the first time you realized I don't like being in my own skin?
I remember as a kid just feeling, super insecure and things like that. Weight was kind of commented on a lot. And I wasn't by any means morbidly obese as a kid, but I was
the kid in the husky jeans, right? Just the pudgy kid.
Exactly. I wore the husky jeans, and that was kind of a big joke and things like that. And I do know that I turned to food to kind of, cope with, some of the stresses of the home life and things like that too.
How did your parents cope with stress?
When I was a little kid, I had a partier for a dad who was, just kind of out and doing his own thing. And then, I did have a mom who was, ate a lot and stuff like that too. So.
Gotcha. So you had one dad who dealt with not feeling comfortable in his own skin, in his own life by going out and partying.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a mom that, for lack of better terms, just to be crass, ate her feelings.
Right.
And as a little kid, you don't have access to partying. Most kids don't, right? And mom could make everybody feel better with a pie or with a casserole or with some spaghetti or with some Oreos or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I want to start this conversation with this. You're not a cosmic failure, and you're not a loser. Your body is simply doing what it was trained to do from a really young age, which is to hide from itself in the most socially acceptable form possible, in the most connecting with mom way possible, which was to eat something.
Yeah.
So you're not a bad guy. In fact, your body's working exactly as it was programmed to do.
Right.
Whew. And then, how old are you now?
42.
42. And now you still got these demons hanging around, huh?
Yeah.
Tell me about your life now. Married, kids, not married, in a relationship, working. Tell me about your life.
Yeah. Married for almost 25 years.
Oh, wow.
4 kids. They're all kind of older. Things like that. Very active kids in sports and things like that. We're very busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to go get the surgery?
I had told myself kind of the prior year, if I'm still struggling with this, I kind of need to do something almost drastic to force myself into, something different that, wasn't working for me, now. So let's try something different. And I think part of me too, if I had to be totally honest with myself, thought it might be a little bit more of an easier way out.
Sure.
There would be some sort of help in that. That wasn't my entire reason, but I think in my mind, that's part of, what you're thinking too. Hey, this is going to make it a little bit easier. And kind of what I found out is it may have made it easier to drop some pounds pretty quickly, but there's still a lot of work you got to do mentally to keep it off and to keep going and to be overall, a healthier person.
Yeah, that's the challenge with dealing with emotional eating habits by surgically reducing the amount you can eat is you don't deal with the emotional part.
Right.
Right. So what kind of emotions do you bubble up for you? Anger, frustration, rage, anxiety, depression? What does your body feel when you start to, when you find yourself grabbing yet another Oreo or swinging through a drive-thru?
Usually it's just once I'm done, it's just this depression, just so upset with myself, feels like a failure.
No, on the front end.
On the front end?
Yeah, what's going on? It might even be joy. What is it that that you find yourself? Is it mindlessness? Like you're just pulling into a drive-through? Is it this perception of hunger? Is it depression? Is it just running low? Like what is it?
It's all of it, honestly. I mean, there's times where it's like, oh, it's been a great day. You know what would make this better? Like,
Yeah.
and then, you find yourself crossing 4 lanes of traffic into Taco Bell, and
Yep.
you're like, or, it could have just been like a rough day. And I find myself at night just like, all right, tomorrow is going to be a better day. And then I wake up in the morning and the first thing on my mind is like, why don't we just go through the drive-through and then, just call today, and then tomorrow will be better. And it's just, I continuously just talk myself into it, and just nonstop.
That voice inside your head's exhausting, huh?
It's wearing me down.
A few months ago, I was jogging with my son. He's a cross-country guy, and I can run like 1 mile with him on his 8-mile run or whatever. I could barely keep up with him anymore. He's too fast.
Yeah.
But he asked me while we were running, I could barely breathe. He could talk fine because he's faster. He said, Dad, what are you thinking about right now? And I said, I've got a pretty mean internal dialogue going right now. What's in your head right now? And he told me, and it was actually a compassionate, kind, like, keep going, just one more step. Just like it was kind of like a cool coach. And I said, I don't want to tell you what's in my head, son, because it's pretty dark.
Yeah.
And we're jogging down the road, and he finally said, well, what is it, Dad? And I said, I'm going to tell you. And the things that I said out loud were shocking to me, even as they came out of my own mouth.
Yeah.
That voice inside my head. Would you share with some of us some of the things you say to yourself, pulling into a drive-through, pulling out of a drive-through, or when you wake up, when you're about to go to bed, and you feel like I've had another failure day? What's that internal dialogue sound like?
I've been working on it. I mean, it's always been for the most part, like, you have zero discipline, man. Like, you should be able to do this. Like, why are you continuing to struggle with this? You have all these tools. You have a good life. Like, there's just no reason. And I just basically tell myself, like, you're a screw up. Like, you have, you're just not even trying, and it's just a lot of that, I guess. And then after I leave, I go through the drive-thru, or I, down a 2-liter of soda or something. And I'm just like, yep, there it is again. Like, you just made more excuses, and, you're just an undisciplined person, just trying to make yourself happy for right now instead of, wanting something better later, kind of thing.
You just gave me the very Disney-fied version of the actual voice, didn't you?
Kind of.
Yeah. And that's okay. That's totally okay. Whose voice was that originally?
I think that there's a little bit of childhood stuff, obviously, in there.
But be specific. Is that your dad's voice? Is that some of the neighborhood kids' voice? Was that your mom's voice always saying, I need to lose weight, I need to be on a diet? And you saw her and kind of looked at yourself in the mirror and thought, oh, I guess she doesn't like me either. She didn't like herself. Like, where does that voice come from? Because almost always the voice in our head started out as somebody else's voice until it became our own.
I can think of 3 different voices it could be right now.
Do you mind sharing them?
One would be my dad.
Okay.
You're not doing good enough.
Tell me about that.
Even as like a kid, like I would just be like insult. Like, we did a lot of work around the house, and I wasn't like more of a manual labor kid at the time, and it would just be like, yeah, you should have a desk job, because life isn't going to work out for you like this. Like, you're just lazy and this and that. And, like, even the mom, like, just constantly, dieting and things like that. And to kind of even make it a little bit weirder, church.
Yeah. Keep going. I'm with you on that one too. Keep going.
Growing up in a very legalistic, environment of you're not good enough. You always had to strive for perfection. You were responsible for the salvation of everybody around you. Everything was pressure. You had to do everything, and you were never doing good enough.
Man. If you were sitting right here, I would ask you if it's cool. and I'd stand up and I'd give you a hug, man.
Yeah.
Because opening your eyes every morning for 40 years and recognizing you're on a stage, and the result of that performance is whether God, whether your mom, I'm going to get choked up, crap, whether your dad is going to think you're worthy of being loved. That's so exhausting, man.
Yeah.
So here's
I can believe it.
Go ahead, man.
I can believe the theory. Like, yeah, God loves me and he's pleased with me.
Yeah, it does. It's in your nervous system, man.
But it doesn't ever feel like that.
No, the rest of it's just words.
Right.
So do me a favor, okay? Are you in a place where you can close your eyes? You're not like in an office with a glass wall or anything?
No, I'm in my home office.
All right, close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to picture yourself at 9 years old in those husky jeans. Just standing there with your arms straight down about 6 feet from you. Your hair parted, or your hair in a flat top, however your parents cut your hair when you were a kid. And that button-up plaid shirt that's probably a little bit too big because you're trying to hide a little bit already. I want you just to see that kid standing there looking at you. And then I want you to visualize yourself reaching out and putting your hands on that kid's face. On either side of his cheeks. And I want you to visualize yourself standing up and going over to that little boy and putting your head on his forehead. Y'all connect foreheads. And I want you to look that little boy dead in the eyes and say, I love you, and we made it. Say it for me.
I love you, and we made it.
When we get off this call, I want you to write that little boy a letter. Okay? And we're going to say, Dear Edward, I'm so sorry that Dad talked to you that way. And I want you to be really specific about the things Dad said. No dad should say this and this and this to his son. And then I want you to say, and now we got to talk about Mom. Mom was hurting because Dad was running around on the town all the time, coming home drunk. And Mom both told me that my value was in sitting with her and eating these big meals, and also that I wasn't worth looking at because I was a pudgy little kid. And the more specific you are about things that you actually remember and the things you were told, the more cathartic and healing this exercise will be, okay?
Okay.
That's step one. And in that letter, I also want you to tell that little boy, when you grow up to be 18, here's a thing that's going to happen. So people are going to make fun of you. I want you to remember a couple of specific memories. And I want you to bring that little boy all the way through the surgery and say, hey, I have an amazing wife. I bet you didn't think we were going to get married. I bet you didn't think we were going to have sex. We had at least 4 times. We got 4 kids. Right?
Yeah.
We got 4 amazing kids. You have 4 amazing kids. And then I want you to write in this letter, I refuse to pass along to my kids what Mom and Dad passed on to you. I got a surgery. I've dealt with some of this stuff, and yet the emotions are heavy. And today is day one when I begin to say the words, I'm worth not performing anymore. And then at the end of that letter, I want you to tell that little boy, it is time for you to take off these big baggy clothes, put on some shorts and a t-shirt and go play. You don't have to defend me anymore. Okay?
Yeah.
And here's what this looks like in the real world. You're what? Say it again, 41, 45?
42.
42. Here's what it looks like now. Every morning when you wake up, I want you to have a small journal by your bed. And I want you to write the words I'm grateful for today. And I get to, not I have to, I get to take care of myself so I can love my wife recklessly.
Mhm.
I get to take care of myself today. I get to feel good today so I can show up for these crazy active kids. I get to, you're going to write 4 things down. I get to take care of myself today, to love myself well today because I'm worth being loved.
Okay.
And if you want to add the faith component, I get to take care of myself today because the God of the universe sees value in me on and off the stage. And then you're going to have to put some real life roadblocks for a season. You're going to have to go see a counselor and talk about the emotional part.
I am doing that. Yeah.
Good. I don't want you to go to a counselor and just regurgitate stuff. I want you to sit with a counselor and talk through, when I have this memory, when I talk about this memory, my chest does this, and I want to feel what's happening, the sadness, the anger, the rage, the heartbreak, the lonely, and I want to extend the gap. This is mindful. I want to extend the gap between that feeling and what I do next.
Okay.
Because that is the magic from feeling like you had a great day. And dude, I'm going to go crush some Taco Bell and exhaling and not swinging through 4 lanes of traffic.
Yeah.
And being really graceful with yourself when you do.
Yeah.
And what we're looking for is more peace, more wins than losses. And over time, the thought of crushing a whole cheesecake, it doesn't even feel good anymore because you believe you're worth feeling good and you've got enough wins that you realize how good you feel when you wake up and you haven't nailed a whole pizza at night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a practicing process. You're practicing something completely new. It's not a matter of I'm a loser, I'm a fat idiot, whatever things you want to say about yourself in your narrative.
Yeah.
It is, man, my whole life, this is how I was trained to deal with stress. I'm going to start practicing something new that actually honors the fact that I'm worth being loved.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, I'm with you. This has haunted me my whole life, and I'm working through it myself. You call me anytime, and I'll walk with you. Get that letter done to that little boy. And if you want to be a gangster, you got older kids, sit down and read that letter to your children. Read it to your wife. Read it out loud. Share it. And say, I'm going to finally deal with the emotional part of the emotional eating. And I love you guys. Call me out, catch me. We'll make some jokes. We'll have some fun. We'll shed some tears together. And your dad's going to finally begin to live into the fact that he's worth being loved by God, by everybody.